Hello. Today I'm going to discuss my top 10 Nintendo games from the original NES. Beginning with number 10, Battletoads. A very challenging game that I never beat, although I could get really far. I'm pretty sure I could make it to the top of the building where you combat the robot guy with the machine gun, and I probably beat him a few times. Anyway, this was a beautifully orchestrated game, wonderful pause music, very creative in its use of odd camera angles, etc., varied stages. The challenge was there, but like a lot of original Nintendo games, you just kind of had to memorize what was going on, and once you had it down, you could easily beat the levels. So I never really had too much trouble, except for those later stages that it was so hard to get to those areas with enough lives left to make a go at winning. An excellent title. Actually, when I had an aquarium for a short while, I bought 3 little frogs to accent the waters, and I named them Zitz, Rash, and Pimple because of the Battletoads guys. I never really played Battletoads Double Dragon too much, but that original game was excellent. Number 9 for me is Life Force. I've always loved the outer space theme where you are piloting a vessel around and you can use the entire screen as your movement area and upgrading your weapons and developing an immense firepower to combat the baddies. Life Force was unique because instead of traveling into the outer reaches of space, your vessel had been shrunk down, or maybe it hadn't been shrunk, but whatever was going on, you were inside of an organic being. So you would encounter like teeth and gnashing like claws inside of the organic matter that you were demolishing with your firepower. So it gave a very unsettled feel to the normal explosiveness of sci-fi side-scroller combat, and that genre is infinitely rewarding and replayable. Number 8 for me is Metroid. Vast in scope, terrifying, claustrophobic. There's no light of the sun smiling on the shoulders of Samus. In middle school, we had to write an essay and use our imagination to create a story. Instead, I just sort of rewrote the Metroid story and got an A on it. I was so absorbed into the world. It's a marvel. And unfortunately, I didn't really get to play Super Metroid. Somehow it slipped past me. But the original Metroid, the entire package was so well developed. The music was eerie. The world was inhabited by these odd creatures. They created that alien vibe and really outfitted that universe with a vast array of oddments, making for a really nourishing early entry into home console gaming. Number 7 for me, Mario 2. Easily my favorite in the original Nintendo Mario series. I really like Mario 3 and the original Mario also. In fact, I went and saw The Wizard when it came out in theaters, and there was one moment when I was at the video game rental store, and myself and another kid were standing there looking at the shelves, trying to pick out what to rent, and the clerk came along, and she sat Mario 3 down right between us. And he and I looked at each other and then dashed forward to grab at the game, and I got it, and I took it home and played it. And Mario is fantastic, and what they did with Mario 2 by reskinning another game with the Mario characters, I mean, the Mario universe just lended itself so much to the fun world that they created in the other game. I forgot what it was called. Anyway, Mario 2, fun factors through the roof. Once again, you can play it every day for a year and still have fun. It's great. I was always a Luigi player because of his high jump. He could do the warp zones that some of the other characters couldn't reach. and could beat the game really, really fast. Number 6 for me, River City Ransom. I love the gritty urban beat-em-up style. I like the art, that you could visit cities, as well as the combat zone, which was the streets. The weapon system was really cool. The fact that you could buy new skills by training under masters that you found in these shops. I always went for the swift kick, and you didn't need both swift kick and swift punch, but you could also learn a ground stomp, and you could learn the somersault move, so you could really be bounding all around the level doing these zany kung fu moves, and it made for a really good time. I played this one a lot on Game Genie, I think, because of the there might have been a money hack where you could get tons of loot instead of the meager drops that the characters usually give you. The combatants all would like tease you and do like they would talk smack. They all had names. The storyline was really fun, and I remember beating it, and I love it very much. Number 5 for me is the game Jaws. This is at the top of Zen-like games where you can really just flow. It's a very limited game world. The challenge and the intensity ramps up at a pretty fast pace. There's really only one upgrade your guy can get, but there's something about exploring the undersea realm in just this most casual, gentle way. Your guy just drifts around in the ocean doing battle with ocean creatures. And something about it is so soothing to me. And the relaxation, it's just got a high relaxation factor. And that's what I like about it. And I mean, of course, if you really hurry along, you can beat it quickly. Probably beat it in like a half an hour if you're zipping back and forth, upgrading your guy. But for me, not a lot of games really capture that gentle Zen vibe, and it really does. Number 4 for me is The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Another huge scope, big outworld map, a lot of dungeons, great music. The upgrade system was awesome. I still remember when Nintendo Power was teaching us all about the weird quirks of the game, like if you jump on the roof and then jump up off the top of the screen, turn into a fairy, and hit up or down, you drift into this extra dimensional region. So sprinkling this absurdity into the game, it's so well developed. The controls are so great. When you're doing battle with those monstrous knights in the dungeons, you really feel like you're doing battle with them. You have to be swiping around and doing your jump and duck and slash moves. Challenge was perfect. An excellent addition to the Zelda franchise. I mean, it's Zelda. I love Zelda more than anything. Almost. Number 3, Rhaegar. This game has it all. The best music, in my opinion, of the whole Nintendo range of games. Both side-scrolling and top-down adventure scenarios. A really excellent cast of bosses and enemies, kind of loosely based on mythology. There's an underworld. There is a protagonist with an odd weapon. I mean, he's not using a pistol or a sword or a knife. He's got this strange like rope that comes off of his wrist, and at the end is this flaming disc of power or something like that. You can upgrade your guy, giving him a more intense weaponry. The last stage of the game is this giant floating castle on a floating continent. And just the whole mix all together, the bosses, the level of fun that I had with the game. There's just something about it that I connected with, and I really, really loved it. It's one of my favorite Nintendo games. Number 2 for me, however, is The Legend of Zelda. The scope was out of this world. This took me out of my environment at home and transported me into Hyrule. The top-down adventure action RPG was later refined on the Super Nintendo with other titles, but it was so groundbreaking. And enough can't be said about the level of fun, the adventuresome spirit that takes over as you play, the awesome cast of characters, the strange enemies that you encounter, so much variety and so much to explore, so many weapons to get, the boss battles, the mythology, just everything makes for an incredible, legendary game. Number 2, Zelda. My favorite game for the Nintendo, however, is Mega Man 2. All the Mega Man games have a place in my heart. I think I own the first 5, except for I own 2 through 5. On 1, I can never get past that blob monster, even with using a Eggman's rapid pause trick. Back then, I could probably do it now. The fact that the last boss was an extraterrestrial really appealed to me a lot, because my mom always told me she was an alien. And the music, of course, like the music is so important, and the music of Mega Man 2 is otherworldly in its scope and in its intensity. It really informed what I was into as I got older and was exploring different type of music genres. Dr. Wily and Light and the Robot Masters just create this rich, quirky world. You really feel like you're there doing battle with these odd robots. When I got this game in my stocking on Christmas, I started crying. I was so happy. And I put up a video on the channel of that moment, if you want to look it up. Mega Man 2, absolutely my favorite game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Thanks for watching.